Hello campers, this is Eric with the Rain Survival, and you're watching Bush Channel.
Keep going, keep going.
Tres Marias.
Tres Marias?
Tres Marias.
And just over there in the distance, probably about 8 kilometers west, is Tres Marias. Apparently there's a rebel militant group hiding out on that mountain, and all these natives are terrified to go there. Intruders can be shot. That guy behind me is carrying 2 backpacks and that big blue sack on his head at once. And also, he's not wearing any shoes. So you got your gaiters on for protecting your feet.
Yeah.
And a trekking pole made of bamboo. No need for cups, he just drinks from a leaf. Very innovative. These guys hike with almost zero gear. Most of the stuff they're carrying is ours. Welcome to the tropics, campers. It's 8 AM day 2. Here's where we camped last night. There's my tent. So it's extremely hot at the moment, so I've just got the fly screen there. The camera may not pick it up, but it's a very fine fly screen that can stop even the smallest ants from getting in. It was 28 degrees inside the tent last night, so I was actually sleeping naked. That's no sleeping bag, just straight on top of a thermarest. And this is a person's house we're camped next to here. So they live a very simple life. There's no electricity, no running water, no walls. The floor is made of bamboo. The roof is made of tugbuk.
Tugbuk. Tugbuk.
Tugbuk. There's Dinio, our mountain god. I'm not sure what the English word is for tugbuk, but one of our subscribers watching may know the answer to that and leave a comment explaining. Here's a close look at the roof. So every time there's a typhoon, a lot of that roof can actually be blown away in the wind. So the house can be partially destroyed in a typhoon, but the people living here, they don't sit around and mope about that. Within 7 days, the husband and wife who live here will completely rebuild the house if necessary. And in fact, that's really just entertainment for the next 7 days. So it's just part of life here. They don't like get particularly sad about that. It's all just temporary shelters. Let's have a look. Coming from this direction is one of the children. Up under the roof, and just up there is their speaker system. They have a car battery hooked up to a set of speakers that they carry up here. So they have a music, no radio, it's just a memory system, like maybe some iPod they've hooked up to their battery, and they can have music, and that'll last about 5 or 6 days. And once the battery's flat, the husband will hike back down to the main village where they can recharge the car battery. Over here, let's just quickly go inside the house, get a closer look at that speaker system. So here's his car battery wired up to a few electrical cables and the speaker. Everything you see has been carried up here. There's no road, just a rough jungle trail that they have to walk on. Up here, it's a little treehouse platform they use for hunting birds. And that barb there, I believe, also is for some kind of tool they use. Just hold it up in the air. It's not a bird watching house, it's a bird catching house because they eat them. Big wild chickens.
Yeah, it's yummy.
Huh?
Delicious.
Tagalog?
Spider, gagamba.
It's the nest of a large trapdoor spider. Just there. Must be huge. Hold my finger there so you can see roughly the size. Must be an inch in diameter.
Nothing.
Kuya.
Oh my God, that's so
Sige, sige, sige.
Patpasok tayo?
Oh, sige.
Tayo?
Oh.
There you go, campers. You just cut out a river for us. Hey, Dinio?
Oh! Woohoo! Woohoo!
There's the hole.
Oh my God! Oh God!
You got the stick, bro?
Wow! Hindi kaya lumaki ang tubig?
Don't be scared to get your feet wet. We're standing, I'd reckon, probably 2.5 meters above the height of the water, setting up a campsite here on flat ground. To be honest, I'm 90% sure we're safe from being flooded, but ideally we would be at least a couple of meters higher than this. See? How do you feel?
Nothing. I'm so tired, man.
So Kuya, Dinio and the head porter are clearing out a spot where we can camp. So about 10 minutes ago, that space you're looking at there was dense jungle, and they've just completely cleared it and made it nice and flat for us. There's the river, probably about 2.5 meters below the height of the ground that we're standing on. A little bit close to the river for comfort, but it's better than any of the other spots we found further downstream. So here's our campsite from last night. We're just packing up at the moment. So yesterday we had to completely clear this whole area, cut all the trees back because it was dense jungle when we arrived. This was not the plan to stay here. We were hoping to get further up the mountain. So Dinio, the guide, and the porters have put all this jungle material on the ground. It's like a carpet. There's their bed. They actually just sleep on the ground on top of jungle materials. They don't have tents or any of that kind of gear. One of the reasons they can travel so light and carry all our heavy stuff is because they're not carrying anything of their own. Well, not much at all anyway. There's their campfire. The wood is quite dry because it hasn't rained for about 10 days here. So we had a pretty nice campfire last night. There's all the food, the tent, backpack hanging up in the tree. So in about 20 minutes everything will be completely packed up. And we have quite a few different ridge lines up. Each ridge line is also being used as a clothesline at times. Just a couple of branches there holding the ridge line up. Just one food idea I wanted to share with you here. Because it's so hot in the jungle, you can't necessarily have fresh meat. So these are all hard-boiled eggs. So about 3 days ago I boiled these eggs in a hotel before we came out here. So quite easy to carry hard-boiled eggs, and we carried about 4 dozen hard-boiled eggs. So right now we don't have any fresh meat. We do have some canned tuna, but we'll be eating hard-boiled eggs and canned tuna for the next few days. This is the fuel that we're using, just regular cheap butane. And we are getting ready to move out. Just come back this way so you can see the campsite from over here. Underneath the tarp. That's a 4x4 metre tarp, just from a local hardware store in one of the towns that we've come from. This is Bush Channel moving out in about 20 minutes, and soon we'll be showing you our next campsite. Dinio. Good morning, sir.
Matulog.
Carry on, soldiers.
Terso.
Another farmer's hut. Looks like they have their campfires in there. Campfire actually inside the hut. Very simple, basic lifestyle. Couple of ladder holds just there on the tree. There's another one, and they continue up. There's more ladder holds, another one just there, another one there. Continues up, 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 more and more ladder holds until the top. There's a little treehouse platform where they sit to look out and also to catch more birds for their dinner. Must be a 50-foot high treehouse. So finally we've reached the mountain village where we're going to be staying tonight. There's Dinio walking ahead to just warn them that there are foreigners coming. Welcome to campsite number 3, campers. Sunset is coming on the 3rd night. So again, we're camping at someone's house. There's the house right there, and the tent that you've seen many, many times before. There's a cat, pet cat. So this is definitely one of the most remote places I've ever hiked to. 2-day walk to get here, absolutely no electricity. They do have a solar panel on the roof, a tiny little solar panel, extremely small, extremely basic. They use that to actually charge their phones from that. Just take a walk around, show you the house. Same type of roof from the first night that we camped. Now the owner of the house, the man who built this house, has 2 wives. Believe it or not, there's 2 ladies that are living in there. They have 7 children. We're inside now. Look up at the roof. Oh, it's too dark to see anything. One thing I wanted to show you guys, and I know everyone will be interested to see this, is the trophies of the man of the house. These are the heads of wild boars that he's killed over the years. Look at the size of the tusks on that one. Absolutely huge. Back around. Their fireplace. This is where they cook. Cooking. One thing that I know will interest a lot of our subscribers is this miniature blacksmith operation that the owner of the house has over here. Because he's so far from the nearest major town, he has to do his own blacksmithing work. So here is probably the most primitive air blowing system I've ever seen. So he turns that. Oh, sure. I have to get one of the guys to show us how this works. So he turns it. All we've got there is a piece of fishing line that turns these wheels. It's the other wheel there. And it blows air through the bamboo. And this is where he'd have the fire. Now here we have a machete that he's obviously in the process of making. Rat's tail tang on the bottom, just like any Filipino machete. It hasn't even been sharpened yet. So here's a piece of was it leaf spring off a car that they've obviously carried up here. His DIY metal cutting tool that all blacksmiths have, and a hammer. Look at that. Now here's that jungle craft for you guys. Look at that. That's a metal head on it. A piece of wood that he's carved from part of the jungle, and it's not even it's not even modern rope. That's just traditionally made rope from jungle materials. And here, this is what I was really wondering about: is where the hell is his anvil? So I have another piece of leaf spring just wedged inside that wooden stump, and this piece of bamboo, I believe, is where he quenches the steel. So he'll fill that up with water. And at the moment, our guides are just using this area for cooking dinner. Dinner time is here, and one of the things we'll be eating is sweet potato, of course, since we are in the middle of a sweet potato farm. Just show you what they look like. Sweet potatoes, oh my god, I tasted a couple before. It's way better than any potato I've ever tasted in the supermarket. It is fantastic, man. The amount of vitamins, totally organic, totally natural. Take away all modern selective farming, and that's what you got, a native plant that you can eat. Here's another little hut. This is where the oldest son lives. So he's now old enough, so they've built him a little house. Quick look inside. So these people are not afraid of the mosquitoes at all. They're completely immune to the bites of the mosquitoes out here. It's not a problem for them. But for us foreigners, we are taking anti-malaria medicine. So malaria is just a disease that some of the mosquitoes are carrying in the tropical areas of the world, and there is no cure for malaria. So this is the stuff you're meant to take before you come in here. So once a week we take these tablets, and it's perfectly okay. We're totally safe because we've been taking this once a week for the last few weeks. 1 tablet per 50 kilos of body weight. So I take 1.5 tablets, and Christina only takes 1 every 7 days. So we'll switch this camera off now. I'm going to have my dinner. We're going to come back to you tomorrow, and we'll be at another campsite. This video will continue on.
Tulon! Ma'am, ingat! Akyatin! Oh.
How you feel, sweetie?
So tired.
Tired?
Yeah.
Absolutely no trail to the summit. We're just constructing a whole new trail here. Completely overgrown. So this is the way trail clearing works. Only the guys at the front do any chopping. And on the way back down the mountain, we'll follow exactly the same route, so there won't be any chopping required on the way back down the mountain. And imagine doing this job for a living with no shoes at all. This guy's completely comfortable in bare feet. Leeches, scorpions, centipedes, ants, snakes, nothing scares this man.
Binabantayan mo. Ha? Oh. Let's go, Siri. Stop making a play dart.
Spiky trees everywhere in the jungle. This is that plant they used to catch the birds. So you can see it's almost like barbed wire, this branch. And they'll attach this to a long piece of bamboo and swing it through the air to catch birds. And right now I'm bleeding from being caught myself on a piece of that.
Oh.
Dinio, what's it called?
Marwa. Marwa. Suksukyo. Ito. Daon nyo. Marwa. Marwa ito. Kailangan ugadon.
Picking up some resin off one of the trees. They call it book tick, highly flammable tree sap resin. Show you where it comes from. It's a really nice smell, like eucalyptus actually. So what they do is they come along and they cut out a chunk in the tree, and the tree just bleeds this sap for days and days and weeks. So at multiple places on the trails around here, just bug tick dripping from all the trees. Extremely sticky. Really nice smell to it when it burns too. It's like incense.
Ako ba upa? Upot lukta!
Just reached another village, day 4, late afternoon. One of our guides is notifying the entire village that we have just arrived. A couple of kilometres downhill, we're in another river. We just found another hut. Must be the 50th hut we found on this trek, mate. It's an old fishing hut, I think. One of the natives have set up for their fishing adventures. There's a fishing net.
Hindi ka nakadya tulog, ikaan.
Looks like it's about 5 or 10 years old. Well, it must have survived a few typhoons. Also a native raspberry tree right next to the hut.
Yeah, it's raspberry, man.
Native raspberries. Quick taste test.
Good.
Good.
Nice, huh?
Woo. It was all dense jungle about 10 minutes ago. Making a nice flat area to camp the night. Preferably we'd go to a campsite that's already clear, but we couldn't make it today. Laying down the carpet, jungle style. Dino's just carving a bit of the bug tick
Bagtek.
from his tinderbox container.
Biyag ka na, biyag. Apoy. Sabi ko buhay ka ng apoy ka. Biyag. Apoy, sige.
The top setup is up and the tent is pitched. No need for fancy campfire grills. Dinio's just using the stick in the ground method, which a lot of people would have seen before. He's got his pot resting on the top of that stick. So he's cut out a small notch in the stick for the pot to hang from. Pure minimalist. Dinio Castom. One happy chap, you know, and they always laughing.
Kape, kape.
He's never angry, Dinio. I've never seen him angry yet. Always happy. Dinio, definitely the most accomplished bushman I've ever met. He once speared a 90-kilo boar and carried it back to his village. He can climb coconut trees like a monkey, carry 2 backpacks at once while he's trail clearing at the same time. Dinio?
Kape.
Coffee. Coffee time,
Kape.
eh? Coffee. Little creature comfort from the modern world. Day 5 campers. Just give you a quick look at this campsite. Tarp spread out really wide. Dinio's campfire smouldering. I've got my smaller titanium cup in there just to sterilise it. We don't have any soap for washing, so just put that in the fire, let any bacteria be killed by the heat. Over here, I'm cooking some tea. Butane gas. All the gear hanging up. 3 ridge lines. The tent is tied down. And there's just so many insects at this campsite. Ants, spiders, mosquitoes, they're the worst. Bloody mosquitoes everywhere. Oh my god. Wrap this up now, switch the camera back on, out on the trail.
Alright.
Day 5 campers, I'm out on the trail, just chilling out here with my pet frog.
Ah!
Haven't thought of a name for him yet, but bush tail froggy frog. That's what his name is now.
Oh shit.
Is there?
It's dead.
No, he's alright. He's alive. He's happy. He's a happy frog. So we're back at the first campsite, and the master of the house is up the tree collecting some coconuts for us. He's just cut down about 5 or 6 coconuts. Don't stand underneath the tree when he's dropping them. And we haven't pitched the tent yet, we're waiting for him to stop before we put the tent there. Here he comes. There you go.